everything and nothing, 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 nothing at all. I don't want nothing at all.
Where we literally saw elk cross this highway and head up to these mountains. And elk hunting is something that is so sacred in my life. This was my 19th year of elk hunting. Pretty much propels me throughout the year. The thought of delayed gratification, the thought of all the hard work I can do year round will pay off in 1 month out of 12. That's elk hunting to me. It's not something that is easy, and even someone like me with a lot of reps and experience, there's no guarantees. The slate is wiped clean every year, and it's up to me to put in the work, to put myself in the best position, to be confident come September, and to get myself an opportunity at a public land elk. I love that, and a lot of people just don't have that. They don't have something that fires them. They jump out of bed every day knowing that they're going to do something in the name of better elk hunting, and it just keeps me disciplined, it keeps me sharp, and it always humbles me, and for that I'm forever grateful for the elk hunting that I get to do each year. The second I get home from elk hunting season and I kiss my family and say hello, I'm back to the grindstone. I know that a lot of people aren't thinking about elk hunting until June or July. Not me. I'm already scheming on tag allocation, draw odds. Where can I get the best next elk tag for public land? I'm on Google Earth. I'm using other resources to scout and to research and to dedicate, because I feel like everybody who's really pretty good at elk hunting is created almost equal, but what separates me is having the confidence that I did all the homework leading up to the season. And it starts with getting the right tags, and then it goes right into your shooting your weapon day in and day out, and cranking down on that muscle memory and perfecting your discipline called archery, and then working out and breaking a sweat, especially on the days that I don't feel like it. And to be honest, there are more days that I don't feel like training than I do. And I train anyways, and that has really helped create mental capacity, mental toughness, because I think a lot of my elk hunting success hinges upon what goes on between my ears, because there's a lot of downs. It's a roller coaster ride, and it seems to be almost magnified when you're elk hunting. The lows are lower, the highs are higher, and I love that. And so it requires a year-round pursuit, which is why I love elk hunting. Going into this year's elk season, I knew that I needed to kind of put myself in uncomfortable position. And what that meant for me was not going to familiar elk hunts where I know what the elk are gonna do. I know where the elk live. I know where I've killed a lot of bulls. So this year, I made the decision to hunt new to me elk units in states that I've been to, but never these units. And so I ended up going into September with 3 elk tags, and I was going into 3 brand new areas. One of them which I wasn't even able to scout in person. And I like that because I put on ElkShape camps. I teach people how to do this process start to finish, and I felt like it would make me better if I had to kind of put myself in their shoes and scout from afar, scout from a computer, network with other hunters, and really start figuring out my options and do the research and get my plays put together on my mapping software. So I knew that I had a hunt plan, and I knew that I did the work, and now I just had to go execute and find the elk. Idaho, brand new unit. Montana, brand new units. Wyoming, brand new units. It was awesome. And that trifecta, those 3 states are awesome for elk hunting. And I was so stoked to try to put myself in a position to have success in unfamiliar country. Idaho was awesome. You know, I'm used to brush country, Idaho, North Idaho, steep, deep, thick timber, lots of brush, 20-yard shots, tops. and I was hunting an area that was just, it felt like it was wide open. We were getting picked off by elk. I wasn't able to get away with the similar moves, and the hunting pressure was unprecedented. So not only was it a new unit, but I was having to deal with COVID crowding, where I've never seen that many people in the mountains, and it was insane. We really had to dig deep and understand that our tactics needed to change by the day. We needed to change locations. We couldn't be comfortable hunting the same elk day in and day out, so it really tested us. And I'm super thankful for it, because it really pushed us to learn new country in case we ever go back. It pushed us to explore new tactics, and it just made the grind even harder. Then we had the chance to hunt Montana and Idaho, and we just drove so much going from state to state, back and forth. In hindsight, it might have just been smarter to stay in Idaho until we got it done. But it took 14 days to get an elk on the ground. That's kind of what it takes some years, and I wish I could have got it done in 5 days. And like last year, 2019, I killed on day 2. It's just every year is different. You have to be a chameleon. You have to be able to change tactics. You have to try your best day in and day out, and you got to check yourself. Your attitude's always got to be positive. You have to be optimistic, and you have to surround yourself with positive people. So looking back at Idaho, I'm super thankful that there wasn't a day that we didn't get into elk. You know, even most days elk were bugling pretty good.
What's up? Welcome to Elk Camp 2020. I can't even say that without smiling. Made it here. Took all the ElkShape stickers off my truck, because that's how I roll. We got the trailer with my quad. This is broken. And then I look over and my sight is snapped off. So, what do? You take out your backup bow. This is the 2019 Verdicts. And I took just the housing off and put this housing on. You can see where the rattle can paint.
We saw some things that opened our eyes up, as far as some hunters aren't really hunters. They do really unethical things, and you can't control them.
There you go. Look at them run. Yeah. Now you guys all.
Okay, well, we've watched, really sad to watch other hunters kind of trap elk, use vehicles, cell phones, people, probably at least 8 to 10 guys in a group, trying to get these elk bottlenecked so they can shoot them archery. Why not just let the elk come over here in bed and come hunt them? Like, we saw really big bulls, we saw small bulls, we saw lots of elk, and it was really exciting to be in that country. Overall, Idaho is awesome. It's a special state. It's dear and near to my heart, and I hope that I continue to get to hunt it year in and year out.
Where they're going, but right now we're just gonna kind of work our way up the ridge about a mile, gain probably 500-600 vertical, check where we were last night. That 320 bull was in there. That might have been the same bull. We just doesn't smell us, bark, or let all the other elk know that we're danger. And we also just really enjoyed this encounter, having this bull this close. Super awesome, very curious. You can see that broadside shot at 30 yards. You can see the vital V. You can see right where to aim. Complete pass through, guaranteed. But it's September 1st. It's Merry September. We're not ready to just be done quite yet. So
I think ultimately what led to our success in Idaho was just straight up thinking like an elk, thinking like an average hunter. Where are these hunters gonna bottleneck? Where are they gonna make their attack on the elk? How do the elk need to adjust their plans to get away from that pressure? And then that's where we will hunt. It took us a while to kind of figure out that tactic, but when we did, it required a lot of basically hiking in the dark, not hearing bugles, not knowing if your plan was gonna work. And when you finally get to the elk sanctuary, there they are. And then you have to make the right move. Don't screw this up. Be aggressive, but be passive, and know when to strike, and getting on the elk's level, making the right vocalizations, getting your bow pulled back at the right time and executing a good shot. Ran out of cover, his cows are above, which you can't really see in the video, and he's got me pegged. And so I just kind of have to hold my ground and hope that he gets distracted or that I can move along these trees and get closer. So I'm just hanging tight, hoping that I get a little bit of luck, because that's what I need to close the deal.
Just crossed right in the sun at about 150 yards. Didn't see me, I'm in the sun.
I've been so close to giant bulls. And Idaho's just been overcrowded. What I did is I studied maps. And I found this area where it was the furthest from all roads, all access, cliffed out, canyon, nasty. And this is where the elk are. This is because they've been hunted for 14 days, 2 weeks.
It's just, it all came together, and that feeling, that reward, is really what I live for. There's nothing else like it that I found, and it keeps me fired up to move on to the next hunt. So we spent at least 3 or 4 days in Montana while we were hunting near Idaho, and it was really good. It was a great experience for the most part. And I do want to say, we didn't really tell this side of the story, but we did run into some other hunters, you know, and it was your classic kind of public land bullies, you know. And I've run into that before, and it just makes me, you know, appreciate when you run into awesome public land elk hunters that are not super concerned about what you're up to and they want to work together. I love all elk hunters, and I just want to say that ultimately, as an elk hunting platform, we want all of us to stay united, because that's where we stand. Divided we fall, and there's way more non-hunters than there are hunters. And so this platform here called YouTube is our way to promote hunting in a positive light and to really show that, hey, elk hunting is really hard. You gotta love this shit. And if you don't, you need to find something else, because it is a grind. It is so hard, and that's why we like it. And Montana was really difficult. We ran into quite a bit of, you know, hunting pressure there as well, but we still managed to get into bulls, and we knew that we'd be back after Wyoming. So we put it on ice, we packed our bags, and we finally headed to Wyoming, the cowboy state.
We're gonna be good. This is gonna be fun. Elk are bugling. And yeah, we'll show you the setup here, introduce you guys to my dad and Manny. These guys, so this is Manny. I met Manny last year in Wyoming. You guys probably seen that video where we hunted together. And then Manny came to ElkShape camp this year. This is Dakota. This is
Let me in the center frame.
this is really the all-star. You're the guy. You're the guy. Let's go get one done.
Once we got to Wyoming, I couldn't be any more excited. I've hunted Wyoming. This would be my 3rd time. I've had some great success. I've seen a lot of elk. I know that they manage their elk really well from like an overall view. Their numbers are great. They manage their tags really well. It's just a really good model for other states to follow. And where we decided, or where we chose to hunt, was arguably one of the most beautiful places I've ever hunted. And you can't lose when you're hunting in a backdrop like that day in and day out. Once again, we ran into a lot of hunters. We ran into a lot of recreation. The woods were crowded, and it wasn't ideal, but there was still elk there, and we knew we could have a chance if we just tried our best day in and day out. Got up earlier, stayed later, hiked further, and just put naps on ice and just kept grinding. And that's really what you'll see in Wyoming, was my dad hunting with Manny, the guy from Wyoming who had his own horse, and us meeting back and comparing notes, and all of us just scheming day in and day out on how can we get an elk down on the ground.
Look like a big 5. We get over here, throw out a call, bull answers right on here. So Jay Jake and I were like debating. He said 400. I was thinking 200. Didn't matter. He was on this next finger. We went over to this next finger. And I was all getting ready to set up and call. And Jake's like, bull. And see what we were. Jake had a perfect broadside 55-yard shot with that camera. Dan couldn't even see the bull because I'm 5'0". And he was just standing here. So I started calling. I got him to come. I did a bark. I did some barking at him, which wasn't my best bark, but it worked. He came over to me and stood there, probably 40, and I didn't have a broadside shot, so I started raking. He didn't like that. He just turned and went right over into the timber, so.
And it took me, again, a lot longer than I thought it would to get a bull killed in Wyoming. Looking back, I like that it was that hard. It tested me. It made me question everything. And so the reward was just unbelievable to finally get a bull down in Wyoming. I didn't think it was gonna happen. And it came down to just a little bit of luck and a lot of just trying way, way harder than most people would ever think of. And I think hopefully inspires you guys to know that, hey, this is elk hunting. It's not meant to be like a Primos video. This is really how it goes down. Put yourself in the best position to try your best. Keep your attitude super positive. Surround yourself with awesome amigos, and you're gonna get it done. So the plan all along was to have Jake over my shoulder filming, and I was a little nervous. Honestly, I've never really had a dedicated cameraman. I'm a solo elk hunter. I do solo elk hunting things, but twice on this hunt, Jake had to leave. The first time it was for a family emergency, and I killed the very next day. He was super stoked for me, but obviously he was disappointed he couldn't be there to film it. The second time, he had an elk tag in Montana and only had a few days left of vacation, and I had to convince him to leave. I told him, hey man, you only have a couple days, go hunt for yourself. This Wyoming hunt's hard, I'm probably not gonna get it done. And he said, the second I leave, I know you're gonna kill. And it was kind of funny because it's literally what happened. The very next day I killed, and I would say that came down to probably a lot of luck.
Yeah, there was one here. There was one dead low. This guy's right in the middle.
Pull down. Pull down, guys. Heck yes. There we go. But I think I got a 5x5. Ooh. There's the second shot. There's the first. Got me a little rag bull. All right. Thank you, Lord. This is gonna be an easy pack out with the, I don't think this was the herd bull. I think I shot a satellite. It's okay. They always die up against snags. Cool. I'm super stoked. Super stoked, guys. Thank you, Lord.
I had hunted really far from all hunting pressure. We were hiking 5 miles just to get into elk, and then all the miles chasing bugles. And really we had winds that were very swirly for like 3 or 4 days. I'm not sure why. I don't think that's the norm. We had rifle mule deer hunters up in the high country. We had a ton of hunting pressure coming in low. It was challenging, but I was getting into elk day after day, getting them on camera, getting in close, and getting winded. And I believe on the last day, I just, finally folded my cards and was like, you need to hike out early and study maps and find somewhere where the topography won't allow the wind to swirl. And when I was hiking out, I had my bow on my backpack, which I say never to do, and I hear a bugle, and I see elk coming off this canyon down to water 100 yards away. I literally just take my backpack off, grab my bow, sneak in and shoot the bull right in front of all his cows. And that's the thing about elk hunting that you got to remember, is it all can change. It only takes 10 seconds and you can go from never thinking you're going to get an opportunity to now you got to figure out how you're going to get this elk off the mountain. And I love that about elk hunting. You're never out of the game. It only takes just one bull to do something to put you in a position to get a shot. And that's what happened to me. And it's just, you got to stay out there. You got to stay grinding. It's the public land hustle. That's why we call it this series, because that's all we know. All right, guys, so we did not do a great job of filming this myself. But when I killed that Wyoming bull, I was like, well, I'm going to get this thing completely broke down and we can have a horse ride up to it the next day. And I was so close to being done. I mean, I literally had gotten the whole thing done. I was on the last hind quarter, and somehow I sliced my hand, and I would more be like stabbed my hand. I punctured it deep. I buried a blade that's 3 inches long all the way in between my index and my thumb, straight in, right where you would put your bow in your hand. And I buried it in the dark, and I pulled it out, and I knew it was really bad, and I knew I had to stop the bleed. That's the most important thing. I'm a former EMT firefighter. I know these things, and so I immediately grabbed the game bag that I was going to use for that last hind quarter, and I wrapped my hand as tight as possible, left my bow, my backpack, and the elk laying there, and hiked all the way out to my four-wheeler, drove to base camp, woke my dad up at like literally 1 or 2 in the morning, and was like trying to stay chill, but I was like, Dad, I need your help here. I feel like I might be going into shock a little bit, which is kind of absurd, but honestly, I've seen worse working as a firefighter, but something about your own blood or something, I really felt like I was going to crap my pants. I felt like I was going to throw up, and I felt weak, and my dad clutched up for me big time. He cleaned out the wound, he got it wrapped tight, he got me fed, and I just passed out probably because of exhaustion. I hadn't taken a day off all September. Here we are, September 27th. Got my second bull on the ground, and I'm bleeding like a stuck pig. So he took care of me. We were able to get the horses to the bull and get all the meat out, and then I jammed to the nearest town and to the nearest ER and got a doctor to basically give me stitches. And he did 4 deep stitches, 4 superficial, and he said I didn't cut any nerves or tendons that he could tell, and I didn't have to see a hand surgeon. And so it was awesome to be able to know that, I didn't completely ruin the rest of the season because I still had a Montana tag. When I got home, I got to hang out with the family and completely recharge my batteries, spend time with them. And it only took about a week for me to get the stitches out and get Jones and to get back out there, because September's finite. And so early October, wife gave me the green light to go back to Montana and try to get it done, and I was going on another solo elk hunt. So I was really excited to go to Montana. I tried my best to figure out where to go, and my original plan was to hunt northwestern Montana, some new country, brush country, and the weather just wouldn't allow it. It was just, the forecast was nothing but rain, so I decided to go to more open country Montana in a new to me area and just learn more country. And so I ended up pulling in the trailhead in the dark. I didn't know what exactly the next day would bring, but I knew that it was fairly good glassing country, and I just needed to find a vantage and hike deep. And I take you guys along that solo journey, and I love Montana for that. They have a 6-week archery season, and sometimes the back end of that season it's a little less crowded, but the elk are not as vocal, and so it's kind of, you take that with a grain of salt and you give her hell, and that's what we wanted to show you guys. October 8th, got a solo elk hunt. Gonna go to a new area just based on e-scouting, a whole chunk of public land that I don't have to be on base map and make sure I'm not on private. I had a better area that I have killed bulls in Montana before, but it's a private public game, lots of checkerboard. And I just decided to avoid that nonsense and go where there's a lot of public land, where there's really not much for motorized vehicles, and I could rely on fitness and glassing to try to get in on some elk. Are they going to be bugling? I think so, honestly. I never got into that much good rutting activity all of September between Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming. I'm going solo. Been driving for about 6 hours. Gonna miss my family, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was home for 1 week, enough time to get the stitches out, heal the hand, shoot the bow twice. I'm as in like 2 arrows, and got all the meat taken care of from Idaho and Wyoming bulls. Spent some quality time with my kids. In fact, today slept in. Both kids jumped in the bed with me and mom and snuggled. Just stuff that, you know, just priceless. And ElkShape's going down here solo. I'm gonna hit it hard for a week. I'm just gonna bounce around and be a gypsy. That's the thing, going to new areas. So come along. Hopefully we don't lose daylight, where I can at least see where I'm gonna camp tonight. I got a pretty good idea. I dropped a pen probably an hour out. Got an antelope tag and a mule deer tag, but the main objective is archery elk. Good evening. Looks like we got the jet boil doing its job. Tonight we're having Thai curry with shrimp from Stowaway Gourmet. 280 calories times 2. 34 grams of protein, 62 grams of carbs, 20 grams of fat. And these are delicious, man. This food isn't shipped in. It's made on site with chefs. So I always like to bring a table anytime I'm going. I like a place to stow stuff. I'm sleeping in the back of the truck tonight. I don't want to commit to camping here yet. I gotta admit, the road the last 2 miles was absolutely terrible, but looks like nothing broke, which is always good. So I got some of just my basic stuff for when I might set a camp up. You can't see that, that's a prototype. But yeah, so I got my food laid out for tomorrow. Coffee, I'm gonna be drinking this new instant coffee from Black Rifle. I'm excited to try that. I will be doing a double since I got in so late. And the plan is to study maps as I lay in bed and figure out, I think I'm going up this ridge to a glassing spot tomorrow. And it's like there's just nothing but a sea of sage, and I'm just starting to hit timber. Brand new to me spot. And I'm gonna let you guys know how it goes. I'm gonna get my dinner cooking, and I'm gonna take a couple of night photos. I got my DSLR set up. I'm gonna do a couple of shots with the e-bike and just really capture this cloudless, awesome, no city light pollution, just beautiful. So let's make some dinner and let's get ready for tomorrow's hunt.
Well, slept pretty good last night. Didn't hear any bugles, but slept right there in the back of the truck. I've never been here before, and so I don't know what to expect. I'm just gonna get some coffee and some breakfast and hop on the e-bike and start going as far as I can legally till I gotta get off it. Find me a vantage and just glass. I think these elk are up pretty high. I got one other trailhead I want to try out, so this may be a wham bam day, but we're trying to just figure out if we're going to stay here or go on to the next spot.
Well, that was cool. I completely got distracted from elk. 2 muleys together. Closest one was probably 400 and the other one was 498. And they were side hilling my way. The one in the back was higher and picked me off, so he stared forever. And then I saw him kind of, not 180, but kind of side hill away. And I didn't see where the other one that was super close to me. He was 400 and heading my way. Totally got distracted from elk. I haven't heard a bugle. I'm not that far from camp, but I am a lot higher. Gained a ton of elevation. I'm going to keep climbing. Find me a spot to glass. Brought the spotter. But both those bucks were shooters in my book, like, you know, your classic Montana 150. 150, 160 tops, but just mature deer that have survived some rifle season. So this is a general tag unit for deer. So I will take home some mule deer meat in a heartbeat. So
I didn't see where that other buck went. That's really gonna bug me. I'd like to see where he exited. But yeah, I got one on video. I didn't get the other one. The other one was even bare. So cool. Let's keep looking for elks. Look at my visibility, guys. Like I hiked all the way up here to glass. You can see behind me good, but there's just a wall of smoke coming in. I think I just heard a bull bugle. Honestly, not that far away. So we're gonna hit him back. Okay, it's about 3:30. I glassed up 2 cows and a calf feeding about 2:30. They fed for at least 30 minutes. And I heard that bull bugling earlier today, so I threw out a bugle and he popped out. Did not bugle back. And he beelined up towards his cows. They're in just a little thick covering right now, but they're right across the canyon from me and they're not higher than me. And we got a prevailing wind out of the south, so I can't really loop around them. But we can start working our way over to them. Hopefully they feed in a slow enough manner where I could probably sneak in. I don't think this bull wants to fight. He never bugled back. He seemed really concerned about where his cows were, just kind of reading his body language and his behavior. I don't think he's a bull you can pick a fight with, but I think he's a 6 point, decent 6 point. But yeah, we're on to elk. It's October 9th, feels like September 9th as far as weather goes. Smoke's still a little hazy. These elk aren't super hot, but bull is with cows, and so let's see if we can make a move. Okay, so I waited for 2 more hours. It's about 5:30, and there's shade crawling up the side they're on. I just saw the bull come out in one of the openings. I think he's a big 5x5 or a super. I think he's a 5x5. And he was on full alert and then started chasing a cow October 9th. So they're on the other side. I'm almost to the creek bottom. I'm trying to keep eyes on them and trying to figure out what the wind really wants to do. It's primarily going down through prevailing, and I can't get spotted, but I need to spot them, so I'm just still working my way. That's a big opening. I don't really want to go through there, so hopefully we can see where they start feeding. He's not into bugling.
Okay guys, so the head camera is on. This is a Panasonic on top of my head. It's just before 6 p.m. and I'm sneaking into the timber where I thought the bull was. I don't know if you can tell, but there he is standing broadside with those limbs between him and I. He's looking my way, but he can't see what I am because I'm short. And what I'm doing here right now is I'm ranging him and just double checking the range, which is 50 yards. You can see he's super broadside. And what I'm going to do here is go ahead and reach down after I range him and grab my binos. I want to confirm that this is the bull that I've been watching periodically throughout the day, which I do get confirmation that this is him. He's that big 5. So I'm putting my binos in my harness here. My arrow's already knocked because I was basically Elmer Fudd still hunting and just going slow, trying to see him before he saw me, which is how it worked out. So he's looking my way, but he can't really tell what I am. I haven't made any vocalizations, and so I'm going to go ahead and I don't have to move my pin. I have a 20, 30, 40, and a 50. He's exactly 50 yards, which how often does that actually happen? And so I got him for 50. I just hooked on my release right here. And I know that I can't just shoot from this position. I'll hit these limbs. But there is a gap, and I'm going to go ahead and try to pull back and find that opening where I can get basically a broadside shot. Now the bull's not on full alert, like looking to run. You got to judge animals by their body language when you're shooting.
And I'm only 27-inch draw, so I'm not shooting that fast, 274 feet a second. So I'm at full draw. I'm looking through my peep. I wish the camera would have stayed on him, but it actually just, I didn't have it set right, so you're gonna get to stare at my sight. And I finally found my lane, my bubbles to the far right, and I'm gonna just work to get it level. Arrow gone. And I knew it was a good sound. It wasn't, it was just the kind of sound you want. And he kind of took off and stopped right up ahead here. So I'm cow calling, and I'm trying to basically, oh, he's moving. If you can look that direction, I'm gonna let out a bugle and try to just get him to relax. And then I just walked right up there immediately. I was using a lighted knock, so I was able to see that shot go right behind the shoulder. And where he stopped was this much blood, and I could see the foam, and I was just like, oh, that's kind of a river of blood. We hit an artery or something as well as lungs. I'm gonna give him 0 time. So I actually just started following blood, and he's going uphill, which I couldn't believe it, but the blood was so, as you can tell, that I didn't even have to follow tracks. So here I am, just following blood, and I wanted to document this Grim Reaper 3-blade micro Hades. I've had really good luck with these fixed heads, and I am a fixed broadhead kind of guy for elk specifically. And I mean, not that hard to find the bull when you see blood like this. He ended up going over 100 yards uphill, so just put that in your memory bank for when you're on your next blood trail. Sometimes you can hit them perfect and they still go uphill. And I knew that once I got to about this point that he should be very close. So I'm still knocked up, and I'm just kind of taking my time, following the blood. And here he is. Couldn't be happier. Bull down, first day, Montana.
What do you guys think? He's a good bull. I couldn't be happier. Tagged out in Montana. I haven't killed a bull in Montana since 2009. I got a tag in 2013, came this close. October 9th, my first day, I heard him bugle twice. I didn't come up the gut of this drainage. I came all the way around and actually left camp in the daylight. I came up, saw 2 great mule deer bucks. Came over, did a locator bugle, nothing, a couple cow calls, heard a bugle. I knew there was a bull down here somewhere, so I just stayed at my glassing spot all day and finally picked up 2 cows and a calf. Well, that's all he had. And then I let out a bugle and he popped up. And I thought he was a 6-point from that far away. But when I came over here, I staged for like 2 hours. I seriously was the most patient person on the planet today, which is unlike me. I staged for 2 hours and listened to a book on tape, The Reckoning by John Grisham, great book. And finally he stood up and I got eyes on him at 300 yards and I was like, oh, he's just a big 5. And he wouldn't bugle. And I just listened, watched, and he was chasing one of his cows. So I just came around, got the wind right, and I came in here kind of blind, just kind of guessing where he was at, and basically snuck in, and he stood up, shot him at 50, and he went about 100 yards, and I'm so stoked. I'm so excited. I'm gonna take a few pictures before I lose light. I'm not gonna cut my finger, and I'm gonna wear a glove. And thank you, Lord, all credit to God, no glory to me, all to him. He's the one that creates this and allows me the energy and effort and health to do this. All glory to God, Creator. Thank you, Jesus. And if you guys like this channel and what we're about, which is blue collar elk hunting and working hard for it year round, hit the subscribe button if you feel inclined, or tap the bell to be notified. We're hustling really hard, and hustle is my love language. I got a lot of work to do. Thanks for watching.
Morning. Just got up. I'm not out of bed yet. Got back at 2 a.m. It took me forever to break that bull down by myself. He was in a nasty little spot as far as it's broke down, dude. So, I didn't haul anything out the first load. Just my stuff. I don't regret that either because it was super kind of rocky and nasty on the way out. So, we got 5 miles per load. That's round trip. That's not bad. can I consolidate so it's just 2 trips? I hope so. I'm going to shoot for that. And then I'm going to drink a cold beer. But for now, just getting up. I need some coffee in my life, and got my hand glued back shut. So let's go get the bulls. Good morning, guys. Did not get to bed till about 1:32 a.m. just because it took me, I would say, at least 2 hours, maybe longer, to get that bull broken down. I was super nervous because of just what happened on the last one, where my freaking hand, I super glued it after taking the stitches out, and it was split open pretty good while I was working on that bull. And I was using my hand a lot, tugging and pulling hide back and getting quarters ripped off and yada yada yada. So got more super glue on it, and making coffee right now and breakfast. Game plan is to go get the meat. This is gonna sound wimpy, but it is only 3 miles to the meat and 3 miles back, so it's 6 miles. I got the hind quarter and a back strap in one bag. I got a hind quarter and a back strap in the other bag, and then I got a shoulder and half neck meat in one bag, and then a shoulder, half neck meat in the other bag. Can I give it in 2 loads? I don't know, honestly. I don't know. It's super slidey. There's a trail, but it goes through a lot of slides, and that's why I wear Trek boots, man. You need a stiff boot. You need a boot that's high and that's very rigid, and it's gonna basically hold up to all that rock, and you're not gonna break your ankle. So I'm gonna take my time. If I get back, let's be honest, I'm not gonna get back till probably late afternoon. We might jam out. We might jam home. I have an antelope tag and a mule deer tag, but that meat's got to get to a cooler. So October 10th, pack out day. Let's go.
So just getting the hoodlum prepared. You can take the hoodlum right off the frame and attach for load shelves. And then you have a load shelf in the bottom. So I just pulled the bag, put the load shelf on. I'll show you in a second. And then I've added 2 compression straps. That's the cool thing about Kifaru is you can customize. So always buy extra buckles and straps and K-clips, all that thing. So now I'm just trying to get a lot of food, like fast energy food, like honey stinger chews with caffeine, these fruit leathers from Stretch Island, Go Squeeze It, just real quick carbs. Getting those for the pack out. And I got a Gatorade, an InReach, a couple of Reese's Pieces, some trail mix. Right now I'm gonna make a Superman, which is energy and focus and hydrate recover in my Nalgene. I'm bringing a Steri pin because there is a creek, so I don't have to pack a bunch of extra water. We will take a handgun. I'm gonna probably go with the 44 mag, and then I'm gonna put that in the Northwest Retention chest holster. I'll show you that. That thing is slick. If you guys need a chest holster that your binos can go over, look that guy up. He's out of Port Angeles or something in Washington State. Really nice guy. He was on my podcast as well. His name's Tim Anderson, and he makes everything handmade custom. And if you use the discount code ElkShape, you can save a few bucks on shipping and handling. And his lead time is not maybe a 1 to 2 week turnaround time. And he's got most handguns, like the molds, in stock. So chances are he'll be able to just boom. And if he doesn't, he'll make you one. So I have a Glock 23, which is a 40 caliber. That's good in case you see a grouse or something, but I have a mission to just get meat today. So I'm gonna bring a 44 mag. There are grizzlies in this area of Montana, and I don't feel like dealing with them. I do have bear spray as well, but I'd rather have gun spray. So that's what I'm bringing. Now on the Kifaru, I've took off some of my pockets on the hoodlum bag for the pack out. I left this one, I put that on there. And then I got my Nalgene holder right here. And that's the beautiful thing about this pack, is you can literally customize it. So I got a black bag inside because I'm gonna put meat inside, and I'm gonna also put meat against the frame. So I'm gonna pull it against the frame and I use the straps. And you can't see this, but in the bottom is a meat shelf that you just attach. It's up against the bag, it flaps out, you just strap it in, and we're ready to rock there. Trekking poles are a must. So we got trucker. Yeah, I'm just gonna tidy up camp a little bit, hook up my trailer, get it turned around, and start hauling meat. So, rock and roll. Let's begin the workout of the day, which is hauling meat for time. Got 3 miles up. I will show you in the daylight. I only saw it in the dark. I didn't go in that way. It was lots of rock fields, rock slides, talus, whatever you want to call it, scree, which sucks. So let's not break ankles. Let's just get the meat out. Steady wins the race. So thanks to my wife for letting me borrow your badass truck. I'm trying to sell my Tacoma right now and graduate back to a full-size truck. The Tacoma is the best truck for the mountains, period. It's like a four-wheeler. It's like a side-by-side. But it just doesn't haul all my gear. I have so much gear. I'm selling it, and I'm probably just gonna get an older truck that's full-size, 3/4 ton, gasser, maybe a diesel, but potentially spruce that thing up, you know, for hunting, and then maybe even get like a little commuter car for the family for running kids around. So just doing grown-up stuff. I'll check back in once we get to the meet, and I'll show you some of the rock slides we gotta go through. Let's do it. Okay, looking at this trail in the daylight, because both my headlamps pretty much died last night. Give you a little bit of a landscape, not a big one, but just crappy, cliffy, nasty elk country. I stumbled my way through here last night. I'm glad I didn't haul meat. I was already exhausted. And I got time. And it's not too terribly hot, and the meat's probably cooled off pretty good. But lots of this stuff. We'll be side hilling through it. We've got 2 miles to go. Look at this garbage. We've got to hike through all these rocks. The trail's good right now, but we're gonna side hill through it. Good thing is this canyon gets a lot of shade. Yep, we got 1 mile to go through this garbage. Man, I can't believe that when I shot this bull, he actually went uphill and side hilled. And now that I'm looking at it, I think he made 150 yards. And so I gotta get the meat all shuttled down to the horse trail, man. This is blood from yesterday. This is when I pretty much figured he was gonna pile up. It's kind of gross for some people, but it's just life. This is when I So the Grim Reaper Micro Hades 3-blade, look it up. And this is from yesterday. This is insane. Here we are. Oh, we got a lot of work to do, Daniel. It's a good day right there. Good day. Let's get to work. All right, we got shoulder, neck meat down here. We got the head down here. Gonna head back up and get a hind quarter, bring that down. Next hind quarter, bring that down. And then the shoulder, loose meat, bring that down. And then once we're down here by this cool creek, we got a good windy day, we'll start doing 3 miles out, 3 miles back, 4 times. This is gonna take more than a day. I'm not able to carry everything that I thought, so it is what it is. I don't feel good. I got a headache. I think I'm dehydrated from yesterday, so I'm gonna try to rehydrate and just toughen up, and get it done. Hey, I'm just gonna keep documenting. No one ever documents and shows the crappy part of killing an elk, getting it out. So I got hind quarter, shoulder, neck meat, and the rack here. Here as in close to the hiking / horse trail. And I'm headed back up the mountain to go get the next hindquarter, come back down, and then head back up and get the last shoulder and loose meat, head back down, and then I will start doing trips all the way to the truck. And that's 3 out, 3 back. That's 6 times 4 is 24 miles. I'll be doing that over the course of 2 days. I'm gonna try to do as much as I can today. You just gotta pace yourself, stay hydrated, which I'm already at a deficit. So here we go, next trip. Okay, we got 3 bags down the rack. We're gonna go back up there to get the last bag, and we're gonna hike straight down out the creek. We can do this. All right, here we go. So last load off the kill site, carcass. We're heading straight to the truck. Drop this off, get water, food, ibuprofen. Gosh, got a massive headache. And then head back to my cache, my meat cache at the bottom by the creek where it's cool. Here we go. So far we're into it 3 hours. Okay, that took 1 hour and 40 minutes to get back to the truck going downhill. So, oh well. Just one foot in front of the other. Let's go get the next load. Well, solo elk hunting, there's a price to pay. It's called solo elk packing. Doing the math, we're gonna be over 30 miles when we're all said and done on just the pack out. You had a hunting partner, you could cut that to 15 each. You got another guy, you could cut that in thirds. But it's what I deserve, honestly. The last bull I killed, we got a horse right to it. I didn't have to pick a thing up. So this is gonna be not my worst, but a very memorable pack out. And I'm not even halfway. Let's get going. Okay, the day is still going. We're gonna run out of daylight maybe on this next one, but that's fine. We'll see how we feel, but we're gonna get one more. That's the other hindquarter, and then all that will be left will be a shoulder and the rack. Here we go. 3 miles up. See if we can do it in less than 90 this time. All right, rock and roll. Oh, by the way, if you don't own trekking poles and you're an elk hunter, you're not elk hunting. You need trekking poles. I use them all the time, even when I'm not packing elk out. So it's been a cool overcast day. Meat feels great, cool to the touch. I'm super stoked on that. This entire elk is gonna be dedicated to my mom, my dad, my sister and her family. My other sister, I don't think she's into it. And then my accountant, because she asked for some, and why not butter up your accountant? All right, guys, back to it. I got a confession. On here is the shoulder and last hindquarter. Then I tried to carry the head out on top. I made it 50 yards. I feel like my legs were gonna give out. I dropped the head. I was gonna just get it all in one shot and drink a beer, but not so. Based on how my legs feel right now, I think this is my last load today. The good news is all the meat will be back at the truck. And then tomorrow, whenever I wake up and after I eat breakfast and drink coffee, I'll come in and get the head out. And then I don't want to be on this horse trail, if that's what it is, for at least another year. All right, guys, I'll check in with you when I'm back at camp. The mountain is punishing me a little bit with the high winds, and now it's raining. I'm not cold, but probably another half mile to go. Hopefully it doesn't rain. It's downpouring, so it's not gonna kill me. Lots of rocks. Break time, let's do some math. We left camp at 7 a.m. today. We did 3 miles up, and then we did a half mile up to the meet. And then we hauled 1/4 down. So that's 4 miles. We went up, grabbed another quarter and back down. That's 5 miles. Went up, grabbed another quarter, back down. That's 6 miles. Went up and back down, 7. And then 3 out, that's 10. And we came back, got the hind quarter. That's 13. And we came back, That's 16. And we went back. That's 19. And then we're going out. It's 22. So I'm almost at 22 miles for the day. And I still got a rack to go get. And I'm thinking about getting it tonight. I feel like I'm tired of hiking and I don't want to do any more tomorrow. It stopped raining. So we're probably closing up on mile 22 of which we could say 11 of those have been hauling meat. Solo elk hunting. And if you get any of this elk meat from me, you better frickin' cherish it. Just know that it took some skill to get it. And then it took a lot of just no skill, but grunt work, arduous grinding, probably ruining my knees and hips for when I'm old. So you enjoy that bite of that steak or that hamburger. All right, rain picked back up. We're almost to camp, and I think I'm gonna turn around and come get the rack. All right, guys, check in a little bit. This is the meat haul video. Man, I would not even take a dirt bike on this trail. I wouldn't take a horse, no e-bike. Can barely handle this with all this meat on my back, but man, you gotta just be careful and go slow. Okay guys, we got 22 miles in. We're on hour number 13. It's pretty much getting dark. Why do tomorrow what can be done today? And I don't feel like Dan tomorrow does not want to do any more hiking. So Dan today will pick up the slack and go get that rack. Fourth trip, 3 in, 3 out. Should be light. Hopefully the rocks aren't too wet because it is raining. Here we go. Good evening. We made it, guys. We did it. It's 9:30. I'm in the truck and I'm headed home. I don't think I'll drive all night, but I wanted to get off these mountain roads while they were getting wet. 15 hours of packing. I think we hit 25 or 26 miles, which half those were with meat on the back. Not the worst pack out, but probably the worst pace. I probably should have done that over 2 days, but I got another hunt coming up in a couple weeks, and the sooner I can get home, the better. Montana's an awesome state. I do have a deer tag and an antelope tag here, but antelope rifle just opened up today. I don't want to deal with that. I'm ready to be home for a few weeks, hang out with my kids, read to them and play with them. And anyways, I appreciate you guys watching the pack out story. This is what it's like doing solo elk hunting. Just, it's all on you. And I appreciate the creator for, allowing me to do this. What a fitness test, what a mental test. ElkShape, man, that's what it's all about. Looking forward to getting home and getting showered. Appreciate you all. So this kill was sponsored by Patience. This was day one of, I had 7 days set aside, and I found a bull I wanted to shoot, and I just stayed out of his scent range. I glassed him most of the day intermittently. I hung out, I listened to a book on tape, I chilled. I didn't chase any other elk. I wanted to kill this bull, and I just stayed on him all day. I waited and waited until the wind was just absolutely undeniable, and then I got aggressive. And I was able to sneak my way in without making a vocalization and get in tight on this bull and knock him down. Patience is what kills, and I plan on employing more of that tactics and less calling in 2021. I still like bugling and cow calling, but at the end of the day, majority of my elk I've killed in my lifetime have been without really making any sounds whatsoever. And you gotta understand that you need to know all the tactics, but you also need to understand which tactics work best for you or suit your abilities, and that's where I'm at. Super special to knock down 3 bulls this year on public land. I really am not much of a trophy hunter per se. I love killing big bulls. I've killed a few for sure, but this was another special year to me to get bulls killed in unfamiliar territory, and I really expanded my elk knowledge, elk country knowledge, And you guys have been unbelievably patient because you're probably accustomed to highlight reels. We all are in this day and age, and instant gratification. And in this series, you had to really wait and be patient and appreciate the grind of the public land hustle. And that's what we were hoping that you guys would embrace. And you've been nothing but spectacular, enjoying us and seeing someone like me just on a struggle bus day in and day out, and that good things come to those who hustle. And that is what the public land hustle is all about. So thank you from Tim and I. We appreciate you guys. We're going to do this again next year. And thank you again. Keep hustling. Keep working hard every day in the name of better elk hunting. So now that this elk series is over, it's probably going to be back to a little bit of ABT. Always be tinkering, and we got another hunt series coming up, a little shorter, a little sweeter, a little mule deer action with me, Tim, and the boys. It's going to be awesome. We appreciate you guys.